y bienvenidos. Deuces Wild. And we're taking a look right now at Matt Chapman coming oh so close to hitting a homer. 430-some feet, they were saying. Bob Melvin's going to challenge the call. I mean, action right away here on Deuces Wild. See, it did not get confirmed. That's bullshit. If they really want to confirm it, they need to put a camera on the fucking foul pole. That's it. Hold on a second here. Okay, that's a good angle. It clearly looked to the right there, but imagine if you just put the camera on the foul pole like it should. I mean, it's the same thing with the goalpost. I think that's one of the most missed calls in all of the NFL is the fact that you see so often a ball will go over the goalpost. And then I think at that point, because you have one ref standing here, one ref standing on the other side, I don't know if they're taught if it's over your head at all, they call it good or whatever. Just put a fucking camera on it. That's it. So welcome to Deuces Wild, everybody. Thrill is in Washington, D.C. with the team. I got confirmation. He apologized about not being here, but he will be back next week. Apparently, the Bats tonight came out firing. They were up 4-0. And then Bird Song, well, no bueno. The Nationals scored 5 runs in the second inning to take the lead. I believe it was 5-4, and then have piled on since. So it was a 3-run homer early on by Elliot Ramos. And then later in the game, C.J. Abrams hit a massively high fly ball to the outfield on a pitch that looked like it was nearly at his eyes. It was crazy. As soon as he hit it, he's here from the left side. Boom. He pimped the shit out of it. I'm like, whoa, hold on a second. Because I wasn't convinced that he got on top of it enough to get it out of the park. But sure enough, the ball went flying out of the park. And that was that. Here's Mark Kana. Once again, 9-5 Nationals at this point. I was watching MLB before I started this, and whether we like it or not, hey, look, fan base, majority of our Deuces Wild fans. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's the Amos of the world. Amo, what's up? And who's a diehard Braves fan. But we got a lot of Giants fans. Rodolfo on here as well. Rodolfo, yeah, thanks for the heads up on the passing of Billy Beane today. Now, it's a nasty breaking ball. All sorts of text messages, phone calls right away because people thought it was actually Billy Beane, who is the general manager, I guess. I don't know what his title is now with the Oakland A's, but someone I'm very familiar with. But it wasn't. It was the other Billy Beane, a former outfielder who actually was, I don't know if he was the first baseball player to come out and say that he was gay, but he certainly was a pioneer there. He was the director of inclusion at MLB when I worked for MLB Network, and just an awesome guy. He is, or was, when the spirit's still with us, but one of the most intriguing people I think that I've met in the game, and just had this presence and heart about him. Huge triathlete, honestly, huge triathlete, but he was getting a triathlon. So when he was asking me all sorts of questions. He a huge supporter of Let Them Play, was always like, hey, Burnsy, if there's anything I could do, to help get the word out there on the Let Them Play Foundation, yada, yada, yada. It's just always a champion of Let Them Play, a champion of the game of baseball, a champion of, the inclusion, and cultural diversity. He was all about it. but he just had this way about him and this presence about him that he was an awesome dude. And I'd heard that he had leukemia when it first went down, I think probably about a year ago. So when my wife called me today, it's like, I don't know if I would say frantic's the right word, but Billy B died, Billy B died. And I was like, wait, hold on a second, slow down. Because I had known that Billy, who I got to know through MLB, had been sick. And sure enough, that was confirmed. So double sky point, Billy. We love you, man. And the courage that it took for him to come out and just admit his lifestyle and everything he was about. Because just because this say it may not be a lifestyle that I'm going to choose or somebody else, none of it was in your face. It wasn't about that. It was just basically about the fact that, look, we're all different. We all come from different backgrounds, and I think the biggest thing is that we just gotta love one another and support one another. And he was always that. So Billy, R.I.P. my man. All right, a few things that I wanted to get into tonight. I saved a lot of the daily hustle topics for this, and I'll be rocking and rolling, hold tight, with the chat. I'm on the iPad tonight, which sometimes can give me some fits, and sometimes it's just fine. All right, Wes, sup? Joel Thompson, hello. Rodolfo, who I mentioned earlier. Pete, good evening to you. Gary Overseen, Jason, what's up? Appreciate you guys coming out. Here's Abrams again, drilling a ball to left field. He's a good-looking player. Both Battleborn and Jason came out to watch Biscuit this past weekend at 13U. He was playing up for the Peninsula Mets. It was actually my cousin's team this weekend. And what a difference I was thinking that you guys must have seen between what Little League was and then all of a sudden, I guess they played 5480 this week. Today's program brought to you by, hold tight, Grinds caffeine pouches. That's right. This tastes exactly like a Skull Wintergreen. No nicotine, just caffeine in these pouches. We are also brought to you by Bet Online, the number one online gambling destination. Get all of your latest news, scores, odds, predictions, whatever else you want on Bet Online. Go to the website today, enter the promo code BLEAV, capital BLEAV, for 50% off your first deposit. Okay, so check this out. Yesterday, and this last night, the Chicago White Sox, who are about to take the field in Oakland. I thought about going to this game. I'm somewhat obsessed with this streak, but they tie a 36-year-old American League record of 21 consecutive losses. The past record was held by the 1988 Baltimore Orioles, who started off the season 0-21. And then they were able to break it. So tonight, the White Sox go for history. I just found it a bit ironic that last night, of course, the White Sox were playing the A's. And here they are, the A's, in 2002. So, I mean, we're going back some time now. But obviously, I was part of that team. As the Giants get a double play here, we're going to go to the eighth. But they won 20 consecutive games. And then in the same building, the Oakland Coliseum, which I know all of us have somewhat of a soft spot for, the White Sox lose their 20th consecutive game. I guess it's kind of gone full circle in a sad way, I think. And Look, one of the things that we all know is constant in life is change, right? We're going to deal with change. But the way things have ended and are ending at the Coliseum, just not great. So hopefully we'll be able to hold on to the memories, the great memories that have happened there. And look, life isn't always about these perfect, glorious times. I actually heard something today that was really fascinating. They're talking about getting knocked down. And the old adage is, hey, you get knocked down, you got to get up. You get knocked down, fire up, and show them that you're fine and you're hurt and you're charged forward, you're this, that, whatever. And so the guy, it was actually an Instagram post, but what he was saying is like, look, when you get knocked down, stay there for a minute and figure out what the fuck you have to do better next time. And that's the truth. Because sometimes, even if we're busting our ass and we're working hard, we get knocked down. And then we got to figure out, hey, look, what adjustments can we make? So sometimes it is okay to feel the air pass through our nostrils and then go forward from there. I think about that with my pickleball game as I've been playing with some really good players lately. And quite frankly, getting my dick handed to me in some of the games. But each one I like to look at as a learning experience. So the White Sox, hopefully, I won't say hopefully tonight. At this point, you got to root for them to break it, right? I mean, where are you guys on this? Are you rooting for them to lose their 22nd consecutive game, which would be this modern day record? Or would you like to see them take down the Oakland A's tonight? Look, I'm an Oakland A's fan. I got to be. I don't say I have to be. Okay, now I got the chat firing. Wes, let's see here. Danny. What's up, Danny? Nora. Always have great A's memories. Way back to my youth. Canseco, McGuire, Ricky, Hendu, Eck, Burns in the big three. Nora, I appreciate that. I really do. That means a lot to me. Now, what's funny is that I think about my childhood, and it was exactly those guys, right? It was Canseco, McGuire, Ricky, Hendu, Eck. And then next thing you know, you were living it. That's the one thing when you're a kid and you're playing baseball. I don't think you realize how close you are in ages. Encarnacion 2 for 3 today. Flies out to right field. It's going to be 1 out in the 8th inning. But even Will, like I always looked at Will as, man, like he's way older than me. And he's older, but I mean, he's not that much older. So kind of cool. Jason says he hopes they pull off a win. I don't know, Jason. Do you? I mean, what about the A's, man? Fuck. They need to win too. I was listening to Griffel's comments. He was a White Sox manager. And you got to feel for those guys. Because they're out there, they're grinding, man. Like, it's not, like, it might be a laughing matter to me, and I come on here and I like to talk a little shit. I told you guys before the season the White Sox were going to suck, but I did a little thing about their fans. I don't want to say feel bad. I'm not sure if that's the right word. But I'll tell you this. I need to see some fucking fight in this group. And the fact that they're 0-54 or something crazy like that when they're trailing after 6 innings shows me that there's no fight. No fight. Look, I've gotten my ass kicked in different arenas in life a ton. But I will guarantee you one thing, that no matter what, I am going to fight to the end. It doesn't mean I'm going to win. But I'm going to do everything in my power as Bailey flies out to right field. So that's 2 flyouts. Look, I think the Giants still got a shot. I mean, they put up 5 runs tonight. But it's obviously getting late. Here's Casey Schmidt. 190 on the year, 4 homers, 8 runs driven in. So, yeah, Jason says he's getting soft. in his old age. Let's see here. It says that another uncompetitive at bat, another hopeless comeback chance, another loss added to a season full of them. Nick Senzel's hapless 0-2 cut during a 3-pitch strikeout brought the official end to a 5-1 White Sox defeat. It was also the moment that sealed an American League tying 21st consecutive loss for a team that has yet to come back from any deficit after the 6th inning this season. The moment had long felt inevitable. It's been 36 years since the Baltimore Orioles last lost, 21 consecutive games to begin the 1988 season. They no longer stand alone in the American League when it comes to an extended run of futility. So you guys want to hear something really wild. Gavin Sheets' father, Larry, was on the 1988 Baltimore Orioles team that started the season off by losing 21 consecutive games. Gavin Sheets, obviously, is on the current Chicago White Sox team that has lost 21 consecutive games, going for number 22 tonight. Now, the question becomes, what's that conversation like? What are they talking about at the dinner table? And, hey, is Larry rooting for the A's tonight? So all of a sudden, they're not alone holding this feudal record. I gotta believe he's obviously rooting for the White Sox, at least you would think. But how fucking crazy is that a father-son duo would be a part of this history? So let me see here. Let's try to figure out. Let's see. Larry Sheets. Let's see what we got. Yeah, an American Major League Baseball player, outfielder, designated hitter who played for the Baltimore Orioles, Detroit Tigers, and Seattle Mariners from 1984 to 1990 and 1993. He also played one season in Japan. I mean, look at Larry, though. Good looking, man, huh? I mean, this is exactly who Dom Selleck was trying to play in that movie, and the reason why he wore the Tigers hat in Magnum PI. No question about it. Anyhow, would love to interview Larry and Gavin at the same time on No Filter Network. What do you guys think? Okay, onward and upward. I will go on record and say I'm rooting for the A's tonight. I'm not a dick. I'm not. And I do have a heart. I do understand that the White Sox, you say they have been grinding. But if you're Griffel, the manager of the White Sox, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you think it's his fault? No, it's not his fault. The players got to play the game. Your job as a manager is to try to put them in a position to succeed. But it's up to these motherfuckers to go out there and actually get it done. So that's something we'll certainly be keeping our eye on tonight. Okay, MLB power rankings are out. And you guys remember about a week ago, we were on here and everyone's freaking out on the New York Yankees. Oh, I can't believe it. The Yankees are horrible, worst record, certain amount of time. Dude, that's 95 on your hands. That's a ground double by Ruiz. Really good swing. So here they are at the top of the power rankings. It wasn't but a week and a half ago. It might have been a little over a week ago. It says the Yankees gambled on Chisholm that he provide a spark for a lineup that had become too reliant on Juan Soto and Aaron Judge. The team also bet that Chisholm, a 26-year-old who had spent his big league career mostly at second base and center field, can handle regular duty at third base. So far, so good. Chisholm hit 4 home runs in his first 7 games of the Yankees. Shit, I knew he was hot. I didn't know he was that hot. He appeared energized by the departure from the Marlins. Yeah, who wouldn't be? And he has yet to make an error in his 6 games at third base. So the Yankees atop the leaderboard with their 67-46 record that was going into today. This article was from this morning. Here's Wood. Good looking young player for the Nationals. Look at that. 94, stays inside it, driven deep, gone. Holy shit. Wow. Are you kidding me? That was a fucking bomb. 108-mile-per-hour exit velocity as they got the strobe lights going off in D.C. tonight. I mean, this is turned into home run derby. A little two-seamer away. Tension-free barrel release. Buttery biscuit backspun. And fans there got a souvenir. He's got the Uncle Sam hat on. And the Washington Nationals have officially blown this thing open. Let's take a look at Wood here for a second before we dive into all this other stuff. I mean, now we're posing. I like the Uncle Sam hat. I mean, you're a patriot. Why not? Okay, so what do we know about our guy Wood? The Nationals tonight, 11 runs on 15 hits. They're not playing this game in Williamsport. They're playing it at their home ballpark in Washington, D.C. But the ball has been flying out. Let's see how many homers. Abrams with a homer. Ruiz with a homer. And then Wood. Why do I feel like we've seen way more than that? I don't know. The Giants have had some. But as far as Wood is concerned, James Irvin Wood. I mean, whenever you hear the name Irvin, you guys think of magic like I do. He's from Rockville, Maryland. So that's super cool, man. It's probably like he's playing in his backyard. A 2021 second round pick. Number 62 overall by the San Diego Padres. So I imagine he was in that Soto deal. He went to IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida. He's 6'7", 234 pounds, and just 21 years old this year. Let's look at these numbers. 263, that was his third homer. 754 OPS. So just keep your eye out on Wood. Back to the power rankings. Yeah, there it was. I mean, look at all the guys that the Nationals received for Josh Bell and Juan Soto. I mean, Juan Soto's the big one. But Mackenzie Gore was in that as well. The irony is that Soto isn't even with the Padres anymore. But the Padres are off wheeling and dealing, doing their thing. I mean, they pull so many fucking moves. Talk about a general manager with a happy trigger. AJ Preller just doesn't give a shit. He's like, boom, they come, they go, they come, they go. It's just these are all pawns in his game of chess. That's it. Okay, number 2 on the power ranking behind the New York Yankees with an identical record, the Baltimore Orioles. Their key acquisition was Trevor Rogers, the left-handed pitcher at the break. The Orioles know what they are getting in Zach Eflin. He profiles as a 3 or 4 starter, a reliable pitcher who throws strikes, manages games well, and provides stability. To some evaluators, Baltimore gave up more prospect value in acquiring Rogers from Miami. The lefty is still 26. Now, you got to listen to these numbers. He's looked like a budding ace in 2021 before arm injuries sideswiped him. He posted a 3.48 ERA in his final 10 starts as a Marlin, which encouraged the Orioles to pick him up He is under team control through 2026. If Baltimore can fix him up, Rodgers could headline a rotation with Grayson Rodriguez for a couple years. This guy's got great stuff. The earlier turns, though, were not encouraging. Rodgers gave up 5 runs and did not finish the 5th inning in his Orioles debut. Okay, the number 3 team in the power rankings, which I know nobody would have ever guessed in a million years before this season started. The Cleveland Guardians. The Guardians paid a hefty price for 2 seasons with outfielder Lane Thomas, sending prospects Alex Clemmie, Rafael Ramirez Jr., Jose Tena to the Nationals. Had the trade happen last year when Thomas was cruising to a 28-homer, 20-steal season in Washington, the cost would have been even higher. Thomas still had speed with 28 steals this season, but he's hit only 8 homers. So Lane Thomas going to the Guardians. I mean, just talk about some of these acquisitions that happened. Nonetheless, the Guardians are having a fantastic year. They lost to the D-backs last night. We'll go over the scoreboard here for tonight in a minute. Number 4, the Philadelphia Phillies. They have been struggling. Last week, they were actually number 1 in the power rankings. They're 66 and 46. This is what you guys don't understand. I'll say you don't understand. Look, baseball plays 162 games for a fucking reason, right? At the end of the season, it all averages out. So, as dramatic as we are as fans, just be careful. Trust the process and know the best teams will be there. Including number 5 on the list, the Los Angeles Dodgers, 66 and 47. They dropped a couple of spots as the Padres continue to climb closer. Their key acquisition at the deadline was actually Jack Flaherty. He's a Southern California guy. I like him. He certainly could help as the Dodgers have dealt with injury issues within the rotation. Rounding out the top 10, the Minnesota Twins, 63 and 48. The Milwaukee Brewers at 62 and 49. The Kansas City Royals at 63 and 51. Here is the man of the hour, Tyler Fitzgerald. Let's watch this at bat. Tanner Rainey on at 6.39 ERA. I guess a good time to put a guy with a 6 ERA would be when you're down as Fitzgerald rips it in the corner and stays hot. How about this kid, man? He's a real fucking deal. There is no other way to put it. Tyler Fitzgerald has been absolutely dominant. This is a high fastball, turn and burn, baby. Short, compact swing, as I think it was Fleming that was just talking about, Javi Lopez. But that plays. I mean, that plays at any level. If you watch him and just pay attention to the head movement, right? It's here. It's just, you're like, Byrnes, what head movement? Yeah, exactly. His head doesn't fucking move. There was another pretty good Giants hitter that his head didn't move at all either. His last name was Bonds. You ever hear him? Yeah, exactly. So Bonds would be like this, right? His head would almost come back. That's why when I'm teaching young kids how to hit, I always say head behind the baseball, head behind the baseball. Your head's going to have a tendency to go here, but if you can keep it back, that's everything. Ramos, a really good swing right there. But Fitzgerald, I mean, he's basically put a shot of life into this Giants team. I can't wait to hear what Thrill has to say about him when we talk to him next week. See if the Giants can do some damage. Ramos takes a breaking ball. No out here in the 9th inning. The Giants chasing 6. I don't know. The win percentage would probably be about 0.5%. And that would be it. 2-2 pitch. Fastball right by him, 93 miles per hour. I don't understand that. Really don't. The Royals are at number 8, 63 and 51. The Padres are at number 9, and then rounding out the top 10 are the Atlanta Braves at number 10. But the team that really fascinates me are the Kansas City Royals. I'm going to get to them in a second because there's a story here on Tyler Fitzgerald that I want to dive into as late night Lamont steps up to the plate. I guess this is his time and fouls the ball off. The impersonal dynamics at group dinners can be challenging. Conversation tends to splinter into clusters. It's often tough to get in a word or change an uncomfortable subject. This is an article in The Athletic. Just bear with me. Good swing by Lamont Wade Jr. 0 for 4 tonight. Tyler Fitzgerald's social graces were tested in a group dinner Sunday night. The San Francisco Giants had arrived from Cincinnati and checked into their Georgetown area hotel early enough for the players to enjoy a night on the town together. I like this. I like the sound of that. I got to imagine to say at the Ritz in Georgetown, the 0-2 pitch to Lamont Wade Jr. rolled over. It's going to be the second out of the innings. Fitzgerald goes over to third. Fitzgerald was coming off another offensively charged series against the Cincinnati Reds, and has just hit his 10th home run in 16 games. Let me repeat that. His 10th home run in 16 fucking games. His teammates seated around him at the dinner table peppered him with questions. Yeah, they want to know what's going on. Chapman 0 for 3 today. He had that home run that was called foul. I won't say home run. It looked like it was foul in the replay, but it then got me going on the subject that we need cameras on the foul poles to truly figure it out. 95 down the middle. You can't miss that. I feel like that's been the issue with Chapman. And he's had a good year. I mean, 244, 441 slugging. I mean, that's okay, right? He's got 18 homers, though. But I do feel like he's just one click late most of the time. That's why it was so great to see him with the head out the time before and pull that ball foul. All right, let's finish up here. And yes, my ADD full effect right now. Should have seen me earlier when I was watching 4 games at once. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball foul back. That's what's so amazing is that you see Chapman foul that ball off, right? Just barely get the barrel of the bat to the ball. And earlier it was Abrams that took a ball at his eyes and figured out a way to get on top of it. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top 9. The pitch, 96-mile-per-hour fastball away. And look, is this game out of hand? Yeah, I mean, look, most likely, barring any kind of small miracle. But what I love about this is Chapman's up there battling. He's not giving up a pitch. Fastball right down the middle. I mean, that is center cut, dude. You could not ask for a better pitch right there. I mean, at one point, is he going to throw the breaking ball? It looks like they want to avoid it. So this is where the TV crew is. I've been and done a game in that box. Is that wild? 2-2 pitch. There's a breaking ball. And that's it. Giants lose. So Fitzgerald, though, they're talking about this dinner that he was at. They peppered him with all these questions. How does it feel to be so locked in? What are you doing differently? What do you eat for breakfast? These are all questions that the Giants want to know. The other players are trying to get some insight as to how and why he's swinging the bat so well. So it says Fitzgerald, whose quiet default voice could not be heard over a running refrigerator, finally had to speak up. Guys, Can we talk about something else? He says. Yeah, dude, I'm with him. Don't fuck with him. Leave Fitzgerald alone. Whatever he's doing, just let him keep doing it. We could save the questions for later on as soon as he cools off. And we could go back to, hey, when you were hot, what were you doing? And that's like, okay, now's the time to talk about it. But right now, you just let him run. Fitzgerald is making it harder and harder to change the subject. He hit a home run on the second pitch of Monday's 4-1 victory over Washington at Nationals Park, continuing a power binge that has few peers in a franchise littered with all-time great home run hitters. But his teammates and coaches were just as impressed with the subtle signs they picked up in his later at-bats, moving a runner with a 100-mile-per-hour line out to right field, swinging on a 3-0 count. I saw that yesterday. While lining a hard-hit single in the fifth, using his sprint speed. And this is nuts. I mean, he's up there with the fastest guys in baseball. It ranks in the 99th percentile to neatly beat out a hit on what appeared to be a routine grounder to third base. And Fitzgerald made every play at where? Shortstop. This is not easy. The Giants reached 500 for the first time since May 31st, and Tyler Fitzgerald certainly has been a huge reason why. Quote, he's my favorite player, said second baseman Brett Wisely, who was Fitzgerald's pregame catch partner. Every day after we win, I tell him, dude, you're my favorite player to watch. He's got to be seeing a beach ball. It's the best feeling in the world. He's got all the tools, and he puts them to work. I mean, he's out there hitting homers. He's still running his butt off down the line trying to get hits. It's just good luck talking to him about it. Yeah, but why? I know we always want to try to analyze and everything else. Sometimes you just got to let it flow. Leave him alone. Fitzgerald owned just one homer over 76 at-bats in his first 34 games this season, while spending most of the time either performing a super utility role or shuttling back and forth between AAA Sacramento. Everything changed once the Giants released shortstop Nick Ahmed and thrust Fitzgerald into an everyday role. Like, this isn't an accident, dudes. It's just not. If you give these kids an opportunity to play, for the most part, they're going to do what they've done in the past. They're going to do what they did in the minor leagues. Some are even going to do better. So his home run on Monday was his 11th in 17 games. He's averaging one homer per 5.8 at-bats over that span. I mean, this is crazy. It's not the kind of power streak that lasts for any hitter, but there's a baseline of talent that's required to pull it off. Before Fitzgerald, the only other Giants in the San Francisco era to hit 11-plus home runs over a 17-game stretch was Barry Bonds, Willie McCovey, Willie Mays, and, of course, Jim Ray Hart. You don't fluke yourself onto a list of names like that or those. Or this one. Fitzgerald joined Trey Turner and Alex Rodriguez as the only shortstops in Major League history to hit 11 homers in a 17-game span. All right. I don't know if I've seen anything like it aside from Pete Alonso and some of the runs he went on as a rookie, said Giants outfielder Michael Conforto. Of course, Conforto, a former New York Met. Tyler seems to be on time, balanced, aware of the situation, and it couldn't be happening to a more deserving guy. He is so quiet, professional, and humble. I mean, if this isn't everybody's favorite player right now, I don't know who is. It says, quote, oh, yeah, we try to talk to him about it. He's like, I'm not having it, which is great. It almost makes it even better to continue having fun with it about him. So how does a hitting coach handle someone as scalding as Fitzgerald? Stay out of the way, yes. Treat him like a pitcher in the middle of a perfect game. It's true. Don't fuck with him. Pretend that nothing out of the ordinary is happening. put on oven mitts. Just reaffirming what he's doing, Giants hitting coach Pat Burrell said. You know, he had a couple of games in Cleveland that weren't his best. When I asked him about it, he just said, I didn't feel like I could trust it today. That's all it can take. There will always be times when you're feeling off or bad. The important part is learning to get out of those times quicker and not let them compound. So seeing him have a game like today is a good example of maturity. A lot of it is baseball, but it's mostly about believing in himself. That's it. Burrell says he's swinging first pitch against a guy he's never faced. Sometimes you could be a little passive there. He went wham, fouled it right back. And right there is a sign of a confident player. He's gotten to the point where he knows that he belongs. His true self is coming out, and it's special that it's happening. So the ultimate question here, how about breakfast? He says, I have an acai ball in the morning and an energy drink when I get to the ballpark, Fitzgerald said. Then I eat a banana, peanut butter, and jelly sandwich before the game. I mean, we're getting enough calories here, dude. And I listen to music. I'm not crazy on superstitions, but I don't do these four things. I feel like today I haven't played in this park before, so I listen to some Christian music to feel extra calm. It's hard to explain, but it's a routine that works for me. The most critical part of the routine, probably the banana, but self-awareness and discipline, thinking is pretty important too. Quote, it's coming in with a clean slate every day. Dude, I love this. I really do. No matter what happened the day before, good or bad, just wipe it and get to work. It's just one of those weird things that home runs are happening, and they're happening really close together. I'm just trying to ride this out. Count outfielder Mike Yastrzemski among the Giants, who will drop a daily, you're my favorite player on Fitzgerald. And he is, Yastrzemski said. It hasn't changed him. Some guys will get louder, and you can see their emotions coming out more. With him, you just see his confidence slowly growing. I don't think this is just about a hot run. He's really getting better as a player. Okay, look, dudes. The kid is special. There is no doubt about it. I mean, he is an incredible talent. I mean, you talk about the fact that he's hit the homers 11 and 17 games, whatever. But the way he's playing with that confidence, the fact that he's now has an OPS of over 1,000. Holy shit. 145 at bats too. So it isn't like this sample size is tiny. 12 homers, by the way. I mean, keep saying 11. I mean, this article is a day old. Dude's got 12 homers, 24 runs driven in, hitting 317, and that was after starting slow. Yeah, his career in the regular season, 299, 14 homers, 29 runs driven in. I mean, let's get a little bit more. Tyler Joseph Fitzgerald from Springfield, Illinois. 4th round pick. Number 116 overall in the 2019 draft. He went to Louisville. If you're a scout, how do you fuck this one up? How do you take a dude that's the fastest kid on the field? He's 6'1", 205. He's now 26 years old. There's something to be said for that 26, 27 range. You see guys have their best years anywhere from 26 to 31. So let's see where he goes from here. But I think all signs are pointing to the fact that this is for real. Now, is he going to hit 317 for the rest of his career and have over 1,000 OPS? No. I doubt that will happen. But scoreboard tonight, we got the Pods and the Pirates. I think they got rained out. They're in the middle of the third, so maybe they started again. The Brewers 10-0 over the Braves. Holy shit. That's in Atlanta. They're in the top of the ninth, and they got the bases loaded again. The Cards, who've been playing good baseball, 57 and 56. 4-2 on top of the Rays, who are 57 and 54. Of course, they came out of nowhere. Rangers losing to the Astros right now. Astros 2-0 in Texas. Texas with the big walk-off last night. They're creeping back towards 500. The Cubs 6-2, trying to get back to 500 themselves over the Twins right now at the end of the seventh. And then the Boston Red Sox 6-3 over the Kansas City Royals right now. The Red Sox have a 60 and 51 record. The Royals are 63 and 51. I'm going to go back to I keep saying this, but I actually am going to go talk about Bobby Witt Jr. in a second, and then we'll get on out of here. Rockies 4-3 over the Mets. That's in the top of the fifth in Colorado. The Mariners and Tigers are knotted at 0. And then in the top of the second right now, it's 0-0 in Oakland. And this is exactly where we go. Hold tight, everybody. We got to get this game on ASAP. This is huge. Let's watch this Ramos bomb first. That's just getting a fastball out over the plate and freaking hammering. All right, 698. And we're good to go. This is the biggest game of the night. Stripling on the mound. Remember when Stripling got traded to the A's? Sosa up now for the White Sox. Top second, 1 out. 0-1 count. Attendance last night was in the 4,000s. 0-1 pitch here. I don't know. They got a sinker. 88 miles per hour. Do you think people showed up tonight, like I would have, to potentially see history with the White Sox 22nd consecutive loss? A big breaking ball. Lenin Sosa, 4 homers on the season, 223 average. That can't be great to see right now, right? You got the shadows, you get the bright. Another breaking ball. Fouled away. Good on Stripling. Let's take a look, too, at these A's jerseys right here. Those are some of my favorites, if not my favorite, where it just says A's. The one I like even more than that's the second out of the inning, is a white one, just like that with the big A's right there. How and why they went to the athletics across the chest, that was bullshit. So, anyway, as hot as Tyler Fitzgerald is, there's one guy that's actually even hotter. Bobby Witt Jr. This dude is on some kind of tear as this another first pitch swing, and it's going to be a fly ball to left field. The White Sox have got off to a shitty start. It is weird seeing someone wear number 22 out there. Yeah, anyhow, so Bobby Witt Jr., he's on a 25-game stretch right now. That is just next level. It's that the Royals superstar is deemed great all year long. He's the only player to post a 300 average and an 800 OPS in each of the season's first full months. Witt's worst numbers in this triple slash line at any point this year have been 290, 347, 492. His worst OPS at any point this season was 842. So even at Witt's lowest point, he's still 35% better than the league average in OPS. Plus, he took things to another level in July. He hit 489 in 23 games en route to being named AL Player of the Month. This is just crazy. But let's zoom out just a little bit and include the final day of June and the first day of August. Because you know what's better than hitting 493? Hitting 500. That's what Witt accomplished over the 25-game span. It's an incredible run that deserves more context. So let's do that and also dig a little bit into how Witt was able to achieve it. This is crazy. Witt's hot streak, to put it lightly, contained 49 hits and 98 at-bats. He became the first player since Jose Altuve in 2017 to record a 500 or better average over a 25-game stretch in a single season, minimum 90 at-bats. Only 9 players have done it in the integration era since 1947. Bobby Witt Jr. in 2024, Jose Altuve 2017, Ichiro, shocker. And 2004, Richard Hidalgo. I would have never guessed that. What's the matter with Hidalgo? He's a bum. I used to chant that in the bleachers at Candlestick. What a dick. Don't worry. I got it back to me when I was out there at AT&T. Todd Helton did it twice. Milt Thompson in 1987 and Jose Cruz in 84. George Brett, of course, did it 2 times in 1980 and Stan Musial in 1958. 19 of which 49 knocks went for extra base hits. His slugging percentage was .878. His OPS 1,400. Witt collected at least 3 hits in 9 of those 25 games. That is by itself not historically significant, but exactly when he had some of those games is he picked up 3 hits in each of the first 4 games after the All-Star break. Ready for this? Going 12 for 15 in 4 Kansas City victories. In doing so, Witt became the first MLB player in history to register at least 3 hits in each of the first 4 games after the break. Not surprising. Usually guys come out cold. His 49 hits in 25 games were the most by a Royal since Johnny Damon. Opposing pitchers had no answer for Witt, and no matter what they threw, he logged at least 5 at-bats against 6 different pitch types during the streak and hit .417 or better against all of them. He hit .475 against right-handed pitching, and against lefties, .611. As we see action, obviously, behind me, the A's are in business here. His run value, and I don't know a ton about run value, but let's dive into this. It's a metric that takes the result of every pitch thrown and measures its impact on the run scoring. Witt's run value during the streak was +26. Not surprisingly, that was the best in baseball from June 30th to August 1st. But that total would also rank 13th for the entire season entering Sunday. Just between Gunnar Henderson +27 and Alec Baum +25. Think about that. That's just from one 30-game stretch. Or 30-game stretch, 25-game stretch. But 1 month of the season. It says, let's finish this session by talking about which wins above replacement total, since he is way more than just a fantastic hitter. Thanks to sterling defense at short and smart base running, the 24-year-old occurred a 3.2 F4 during the streak. That's Fangraphs for. You're a pretty decent player if you reach 3 over a full year, much less do it in 5 weeks. Over 21 qualified batters entered Sunday with more F4 this season than Witt compiled in just 25 games. Anyhow, look, he's one of the fastest players in baseball, like Tyler Fitzgerald. A budding superstar. He could be the face of the game for a long time coming. Here's Schumann. Max Schumann. What do we know about him? Not a lot, but this is last night. That's a big knock for Schumann. Let's watch the rest of this inning. And then I got smell-o-vision on downstairs. What exactly we're eating for dinner, I have no idea, but I do know my wife has been obsessed with watching the Olympics, so that's where my attention is going to go to. Runner at first, 1 out. Still can't take my eyes off those A's jerseys on the right. How about the sell guy in the background? The question becomes this: if Fisher sells, who's he selling to? And is that person really going to want to keep the team in Oakland? That's what people have to ask themselves. Like the 24, Ricky Henderson Field, Holy Toledo out in center. Tribute to Bill King. All right, let's see what we know about Schumann. 251 on the year, 686. OPS. He's from Portage, Michigan. Pitch, 94-mile-per-hour sinker from Cannon. Off the plate, he was a 20th round pick. 593rd overall from Eastern Michigan. 27 years old. He was drafted in 2018 by the Oakland Athletics. Runner goes, and that's ball 4. So we got runners at first and second, and we're back to the top of the order with the Athletics. And it's going to be Lawrence Butler. Oh, look at this move right here. This Geloff. I love the fucking aggression, man. That's my kind of guy. All right. Not exactly sure what's being said right here. Katz, the pitching coach of the Chicago White Sox, making sure they cover their mouths. I mean, enough's enough. And what do you want to say? We're back to the top. Yeah, let's watch this play again. Because a swing him as strike 3, and as soon as he turns his back, that's when you got to take off. And Geloff did. Fantastic move. All right, shadows have cleared out. It should be a lot easier to see here. For Butler's second at bat, 0 for 1. 1 down. Line drive up the middle. There's 1 over to first, 2. So at the end of 2, it's the A's 0 and the White Sox 0. Again, looking for history tonight. The White Sox going for their 22nd consecutive loss. That's about it, folks. Appreciate everyone joining. I'll be back on tomorrow morning with the Daily Hustle. We will be back on next week with Throwback. I know a lot of people tune in to get Thrill, and I imagine a lot tune out as soon as they figure out he's not here. But he was in D.C., or he is in D.C. with the team. So that is the one thing that takes priority over Deuces Wild, which I don't know why the fuck it would. I mean, he'd be much better off even if he just did the show from the clubhouse, right? Wouldn't that be something? All right. Everyone have a, yeah, Joel. Appreciate you, Wes, Pete, the gang, Jason, Battleborn, Danny. Appreciate you guys all joining. Daily Hustle tomorrow morning. See ya. Hold on. Watch it. Daily Hustle tomorrow morning. See ya.